Put one more. No rush. You like to take this nice and slow the way you should do. Pictures are extra though.
Nuh-uh.
And I have to look good in them. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Vineyard Vineyards. My name is Matthew. I do all the wine education here. And this is Edward Lovatz, graduate from UC Davis. This is our winemaker. And this is the 2016 barrel table. We've been doing this for a while, and actually most of you are a lot of familiar faces because a lot of you are wine club members, which we love to see. Okay? First thing we'll do a short little tour, but the biggest thing is we're going to grab our glasses first. We give you a little sneak peek of the heat because we'll be going into a colder area, alright? That's why I like you to have your jackets on, alright? But you can follow me right here. Just take a glass, single file, and be like we're in school, and then right back out this door.
I'll be fine. Just give me more.
Districts, come on. That's why we get our money.
You got your glass already? There you go.
We've done that too. I know. Very aromatic.
Got my glass.
Got the glass.
Lucy, John,
Got my glass.
Jeanette. There she is over there. And Lucy.
We always have it.
You should be taking the picture. You. No, you do it.
I always tell him what to do.
No, I don't bother. You do it. Taking a water bag? Bag? What bag?
Please. Take it, please.
You got pocket?
No, I don't.
Yep. We didn't have this here. It was in the building next door, which was very inefficient. We had to take all the wine from here, ready to bottle, tanker it over there, take the glass over there, bottle it over there, and then bring everything back. So then when it snowed, you couldn't bottle, or, you know, and then it wasn't as good for the wine either. So 2 years ago, we moved it over. We're still fine-tuning some things.
Which means we bottle a lot faster and a lot harder.
Because before we'd put wine over there and then we'd bottle, we could only bottle for like a day or two, and that little building would fill up. And then we'd have to bring all the case goods back. So now we can just bottle and take the glass, empty glass, take it back full.
If you ever want to volunteer for a bottling wine day, highly recommend it.
It's like picking grapes, it's like pruning a vineyard, it's fun for about 10 seconds.
Fun for about the first 20 seconds. if you work both shifts, you will go home and sleep like a baby. I did it 2 weeks in a row this year, and that was definitely enough to not want to go back ever again, and I do a lot here. So that'll teach you something. But yeah, guys, just be careful. Some of the floor might be a little bit
Well,
wet.
the bottling line is what we do, is kind of like a horseshoe. Over there, there's tape, that's the end. Over here where these two water bottles are is the beginning. So we dump empty glass there, rinses the bottle, sparges the bottle with CO2 or nitrogen, fills it, corks it, capsules, label, and then off the line at the end. Wow. It'll do about 80 bottles a minute.
8 bottles
We
a
usually
minute.
have anywhere from about 5 to 9.
Yeah, depending on the bottle.
Depending on which bottles we have, that'll be how many people will be working the bottling
So
line.
some people like the little tall, like Duck Walk has, the tall, skinny dessert wine bottles. Some people think those are really cool. They're obviously not the people that bottle wine. Because they fall over like a domino.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And then the wine's all sticky because it's sweet.
I'd like to see this one.
Yeah, I'd love to see it moving.
And this is why I told you to put your jacket on. It's almost like when you're underwater and you hit that thermocline and it gets real cold. You can follow Edward right in. Just feel that difference in temperature as soon as you walk right in here.
Wow, it's chilly. We're at a Pindar winery. They're going to be opening a barrel. Well, that's the case.
Baby, you're blocking everybody else. Can't just stop them. I hate when she does it. Just stop in the middle of nowhere.
I usually walk up ahead.
I keep telling her I'm going to put a backup signal on her.
Yeah.
No, I just walk
She always walk ahead. I always have
And
her
she'll
head.
stop. I don't know.
No, I always have her head on every video.
And we're not heating this room. However, We're cold stabilizing wine. So you ever pull a cork on a red wine and you see the little white crystals on the end of the cork? Those are tartrates. It's potassium and tartaric acid. So on white wines, because in red wine you drink them normally room temperature and you don't get them super cold. So we don't cold stabilize the wine to remove that. And what we're doing, if you notice, these tanks are a little frosty. Please don't stick your tongue to it. I've seen the movie, it will stick. But we're chilling them down for about 30 days, and when we filter that wine out of there cold, the inside of that tank will look like a crystal cave. It'll just be all those little crystals that will not be in your wine. But we do it time and temperature. All this heat and cold stability stuff that we do on wine, which you'll hear about, is all time and temperature related. So if I chill this wine down to 32 degrees for 30 days, it's not going to throw tartrates in your fridge or if you get it cold. However, if you do freeze this wine in your freezer at 0 degrees, it might still throw it because we're not going to take a wine to a slush because it just hurts the integrity of the wine. So we kind of use. Most of the time, if you freeze a wine in your bottle, it'll either push the cork and go everywhere or it'll go boom. So
You actually will be doing something probably you've never done before unless you've been on the barrel tasting. You actually will be having a liquid that's below 32 degrees.
Wow.
It's actually below freezing. So
these wines right now are sitting at about 30 degrees.
at 30 degrees. So you're
For
having
30
something
days.
that is below freezing, technically below freezing, and
So-
you're drinking a liquid.
So that's how we get the cold stability, so you don't get the little, the tartrates, if we didn't do it and you got the wine cold, it'd look like your Christmas globe, but there'd be no Santa Claus or snowman in there. So it wouldn't be as pretty.
Is there a bottom temperature you have to reach to make the wine?
It's all time and temperature related, so we go to like 30 for 30 days, but we could go colder for a shorter period of time, and it's kind of a hit and miss. But even a wine, if you put it at 30 for 3 months, it might still throw it. But you can't.
Why don't we some warm-up climates? What do you-
We're chilling this down with propylene glycol. This little jacket right here is chilling. So it's got food grade antifreeze running through a jacket. That's what all this plumbing is. We can also heat every tank to warm them up.
Okay.
So if we bring in a wine and we cold settle it, white wines we bring in, we'll go to that in a minute, but we cold settle them. But then we need to warm them up, and Mother Nature takes too long, so then we'll warm them up so we can get the yeast in them. Because yeast doesn't like 30 degrees. We also, at this time, we add bentonite, which is a volcanic clay. And what it does is it coagulates with the proteins, and it settles the proteins out so it protein stabilizes the wine, which you don't have to do on red wine, because if a red wine got cloudy from protein haze, you would never see it. But it would just be a little cloudy, so the wine wouldn't be brilliant, it'd be a little cloudy. But also, if you ever look at a chef and you want to know if your chef's any good, look at his recipes he writes. Notice like Mario Batali, he's a pretty good chef in New York City. All of his white wines where he adds cream, all his cream sauces have white wine, never red wine, because red wine is not heat stable. So if you pour that in there, it'll coagulate and be a big nasty mess.
And sometimes you cannot see it when you do it, but
if you
will.
ever have like a glass of red wine and you're not going to finish at home, unfortunately that may happen to some people, but just take a little bit of milk, because milk's a protein, and just put like an eyedropper, put 2 eyedroppers of milk in there, and it'll actually coagulate. That's actually how if a wine is too tannic, and we want to soften the wine, we'll either use milk or egg whites or something like that you add, which will coagulate with the tannins and the proteins and settle it out. And then when we filter it off, it'll actually soften the wine. Always the same blend.
And you see what we're doing here? We're getting you real cold before you taste the first one, so it tastes even better.
Yep.
Are we cold yet? Or are we still good? Normally we would take you outside if it was a little bit nicer, but that wouldn't be as bad because it blows crazy in the back.
Yeah. Great. Like I said, how we're stabilizing that wine, we kind of do the same thing when we bring the white grapes in. The white grapes, only the juice comes inside. The skins, the stems, everything else left outside, compost. We only bring the juice inside, we put it in the tank. We add a little PVPP, which is polyvinyl polyprolidone. And then we chill the tank down, and we'll add a little sulfur so it doesn't start to ferment. And then we'll settle it out for about 8-10 days. And that's when, if we ever need to do an acid adjustment or any additions we need to make to adjust the pH or anything, we always want to do them early because it's the most effective. And then we'll settle them down for, depending on how big the tank. And when we take this juice off, it'll be crystal clear juice. But about here down, it'll be like sludge. Wow. So what we do is we just keep filling up tanks. And when we got enough tanks to do a run, because this machine takes about a half a day to set up and about a half a day to run. So what we use is water and diatomaceous earth, DE, which is like what they use in swimming pools, and it's, you know. And so then it builds like a cake, because this is vacuum. And it builds a cake out, and then once we do that, we start pumping that sludge into here, and then the sludge sticks to here, and the juice gets sucked through by the vacuum, and then every time it goes around, because it clogs the outside, this is like sharp, and it cuts it off like little pasta.
Oh, wow.
And then it just keeps doing that. And we recovered, I think, 6,000 gallons this year of wine that would. Most wineries don't have this equipment because they're not large enough to run it, because we lose about as much wine as they make just setting the machine up. But we recover about between 5,000 and 7,000 gallons a year. So it pretty much paid for itself the first year.
If you actually have ever made homemade pasta, it looks exactly like that. It's like putting it right through the pasta machine, but just purple and a little bit more. It actually is one of the coolest machines to watch in action. It's one of the coolest machines to watch.
Wow.
The other thing you notice is everything in a winery. People are like, well, how do you make $10 million in a winery? Start with 20. Because everything is stainless steel.
Stainless steel, yeah.
And everything, well, the tanks aren't, but like all of our equipment's, you know, French or Italian or German, it's all imported stuff. Okay, if you guys just want to walk by, we'll give you a little shot of.
And just come right out with your glass. Just try and keep it, even if you can like make almost like a U when you come by.
If you notice, this wine's a little bit.
Think of it as an experience. That's above all what it is. What we're having is actually Pinot Meunier.
Actually, this is the 2015 rosé.
That'll also change. Color won't always be the same when we finish bottling the wine. I actually love the one that we have in the taste room. When you look at it, almost think about looking at like a pink lemonade. Yep. Right? That nice little light color. Everyone has it sometimes a little bit darker, but I love the color that we have.
It'll get richer, but. Dry rosés are the new thing. Behringer just lost like millions and millions of dollars to white sand. So they drink white sand.
I do. So do I. Got tons of it. Oh boy, oh boy.
They're all heading back out.
I was so excited. Everyone said that. When you get caught on, you can't see my garbage. You don't know. We don't recycle. It's crazy.
Sorry. In the taste room after, but this will be the 2015 which we have out. Smell. What do we get?
Bagel. I don't know. Tell me.
I think grapefruit right away.
Yes.
I think about having that in the morning for breakfast, maybe put a little sugar on it.
Yeah, he's right.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Go with my medication. I didn't taste that.
He's right. Yeah, it smells like grapefruit.
Anything or something is,
I think this is
think about me, you go down. And then the warmer it is, the faster it can move around. Yeah, I almost think like it's almost getting like a sweet flavor. It's almost like that peach like mixed and smell like that.
Going another tank.
Just be careful. This
Yes.
you don't want to get it on any.
Oh, right.
Not through this way. But we're gonna hit everyone a little bit on the sweet tooth if you're like. You do not have to try this if you do not. But I know we have some sweet tooth, especially some of the.
So why
wines
we haven't
this
had
year.
the wine? It's a late harvest conversion from here.
Alright, so this is, you do not have to try it if you do not want to, but if you do want to, I would always recommend trying it. You don't have to finish it, it'll for you about an hour, but enjoy yourself over everything. So, same thing, live.
Thank you.
Jacob, sit down after.
We'll see this on Facebook.
Sweet. Too sweet for me. Sweet. He loves it.
I love it. It's very good.
Thinking maybe like that honeysuckle, that peach smell to that also, but definitely on the sweeter side.
Yeah, almost like
think about like lilacs, like that smell like that you get during the springtime. Really sweet nuance.
Sorry. Cocktail room.
We're heading out. Wine glass is still in that glass.
What a beautiful place. Yeah. I said, no, it's a hole in the wall. Are you making fun of me? What's wrong?
Oh, sorry, John.
Walk this way.
On my knee. Oh, please. The more I walk, the more I think.
Nice and warm in there.
Oh, nice.
John got his already. Okay, way to go, John.
I don't care about you, hon.
Show me that. Show me that
I don't
glass.
care about you, hon. I got mine.
I did a price fix menu there.
Bottle wine, we put a little sulfur dioxide in it. But if your pH is reasonable, you get away with like 25 parts per million, which is normal. Well, like in yeast, on white wines, I think it's very, very important to use the yeast that you like the profile of. But I've learned over time that in red wine, I can make it with Renault for 14, 16, 18. That's the problem. Some of the problems, you know, that some yeast will help with. So.
Right, I was going to say someone's fine. You like his face, huh?
The two varietals that grow the best on Long Island are either going to be Cabernet Franc and Merlot. And Ed will say Sauvignon Blanc. Yes, I would say Ed produces Sauvignon Blanc very well, but we have a maritime climate. We get across Greece from Long Island south of the Atlantic Bay. Right? We're all from Long Island, right?
Yep.
All right. How's Long Island treated?
Really sure.
Dang, there we go. All right, a lot of people look puzzled right away. You better know about where you're from right now.
I don't know. I like when you go into Brooklyn and they tell you they don't live on Long Island.
Yeah, right?
I passed my geography class. You're on the island. Technically, yeah, but that's still
Beaches on the South Fork are a lot better than the beaches on the North Fork. North Fork is all rocky.
Yep.
South Fork is all sandy.
Yeah.
Wait.
Connecticut, and we were so surprised that they didn't have any red wine. All they had was white. And they said, yeah.
Later. I mean, after.
Where you went to it?
No, who, you? Not me. I'm just making fun. She's not. You're not alive. No, not usually. But once I am. It's like the gas tank, and you get to a certain point, and then all of a sudden it drops like a stone. Right.
Down there.
I'm good. Done. 1 point. Done. And then I
You
drop
get
like
to
a
the
stone.
quarter of a tank.
Because we're small. Yeah. There's not much to... No, we're compact. There's not enough room. Yeah. It takes time to come down. We think we're tall. It's just the same. We drink like this.
This is 2014 Syrah.
Syrah. Okay, Syrah?
All right, you owe me $5. You said that.
Great minds think alike, Matt.
Yes. Also think about if I used to light a lot of things on fire when I was a little kid. So think about that gunpowder smell. Like, and I also used to shoot a lot of guns, still do, but you smell that gunpowder smell. That's what that'll be.
Wow.
I'm never going to smell the deli.
There's one clone of Syrah, it's called the Durell clone, and it just smells just like Subway restaurant. You know, when you walk in.
Oh, Subway.
Subway has got this unique skill. No matter what you order, it tastes the same.
Boy.
That was almost like medium bodied. And now as we got into that Syrah that had more of that pepperiness, more of a purple color. Think almost like that smokiness to the nose, all right?
Listen, I lost count how many glass we had already.
Enough. More than, we'll have even more.
Just for the record, I lost count how many glass we had.
You're right.
They weren't full glasses.
What was that?
That don't count.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm just reminding them.
Oh, Jesus. Right.
What's the matter?
What's the matter, Lou?
Movie glasses right on. Save me a step. Come on, folks, move those glasses right in. Careful, girls.
A little hang. I'll be right back.
It's got to top that off for you. It's a half pour.
Just guzzle it.
There you go, smart girl.
Don't do that. Just see what
It's a shot. Go for it.
I was thinking about that.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Well, at least you have a designated driver.
Who's that?
Okay, go ahead. To say earlier that somebody must have asked him a question, and he says, you know, some afternoons he comes in here, he'll taste, someone said, and he goes and hangs out, listens to that's what I was doing, and you guys would say,
Walk this way!
Thank you. It's good.
Yeah, it goes down good until later on it explodes. There you go.
This is good. Good is good.
I got a little, so you can try.
I tried sandwich. Something that I'm not right. Okay. Because I know I'm not thinking before.
Don't spill. That's
Alcohol abuse. You have to, if you spill it, you have to lick it off the floor.
no spilling. That's alcohol abuse.
Like candy. It's like
Sweet.
So we'll go again off season, and on our way we'll stop at Duck Walk, we'll stop at Holker. Duck Walk is just
Hey, Jeanette.
here they only have a tuna steamer. They don't have
I feel like my teeth are red. That every wine.
Time, because it's only myself and Edward. It will take a little bit. So just grab a spot. Please try not to go in front of where I have the food set up. And you'll be able to move around once I have all the food set up. But take your time and just get a spot at the bar and relax. Americans hate the word relax. I'm going to tell you to relax and take your time.
That's not American.
You like
New
starving dogs. So sit there and you're going to have a great time.
Relax. What?
This is the next best part of the tour. Enjoy yourself. And if you have any further questions, that's what this is for, the second part, all right? Ask us anything you'd like. We're actually going to leave these right on the table. Leave your glasses right on the table. If you already took a water, you don't get to take a water now because I counted how many people are here. So you take a water and it's on your drink for the way back, all right?
Did you take one for me before?
No, you only have one.
So you only grabbed one?